If you all guys want to come up, I'll bring you up. Shruti is here, and I will review what we have done so far for the sake of Shruti and other new people. My room fills up slowly, Ritu, and that because I would. No, Dr. Rao, I'm to be honest, I really don't care. As long as I'm getting to listen to you, I'm happy. Yeah, I mean, people do come, but then yes, they I'm come sure they will come, slowly. And I'm sure your rooms are so knowledgeable and especially living in US, and you know the whole, you know the drill, how what we go through, and the whole the pharmaceuticals, and you know the. But it's amazing, right? I think all it's a kind of a stereotype, like where we have Indian doctors are the most like respected in that sense. Yeah, I think. Is that because we bring some Eastern wisdom to it, or is it just because we have been able to do it? I think combination of factors. One thing is, I think our doctors are disciplined when they are studying, and then when they come, they carry this bedside manner, which is very appealing to anybody, any patient, and the Americans like that. And also, our people are can be brilliant, in their application of subject and study, and there's a family structure. We value our families, right? We are kind of not really going out of the way that easily. So all those qualities make you a better provider. And then people do have multiple talents. They bring it here, and I think and overall, whichever Indian doctor, basically they are kind and concentrate to the patients, and the patients like that. The combination of things. Yeah, I think a lot of patience in a doctor, I think appeals to any patient who comes there, because someone who can patiently listen to what ails them, and who can be very warm, like a human being, a good warm human being. Although I do, I've met many doctors here over a period of over a decade living in US now, and I have met few Indian, or so-called Desi doctors. Uh, here, and my experience has always been that they seem to be very knowledgeable. They seem to be very patient. About what they're listening to, what they're hearing from. Yeah, they really want to know we do stuff. We do have that kind of bedside manner. Many of the patients told me that they like the Indian doctors because of that. um, my bedside manner is really from the beginning. It was like that because I was always wanted to be inner oriented and humanistic, that kind of thing. So I spend a lot of time with the patient because I enjoy spending time with them. And they teach you. That is true service, and that's beautiful to have. Anytime I meet a doctor who's in a rush, they just want so many number of patients to be done in a day, so they make so much from insurance. That can be so disheartening. Like, why are they in this profession? Sometimes I wonder, because they're really the oath that they take sometimes is very contradictory to what they actually practice. Sometimes, sometimes it is the system also, Shruti, because they make them go hurried like that because they wanted them to sue this many patients in this time. Lately, it has become much more. When I was practicing very early in 80s and 90s, we could do whatever we want as much time as we want. And then slowly the managed care came and the restrictions to the Medicare came. So many things came that are impinging on the doctor's ability to practice properly. So I take a lot of sympathy on the doctors because they are put to a lot of tensions. That's why the burnout thing is something that I take it seriously and then try to help them with a comprehensive self care. Even this room and other things I do. I thought that being a doctor, things are a little bit better once you finish your schooling and you've done that part of your hard work. But then again, you feel that there is pressure from insurance companies now. Yeah, not only insurance company, drug companies, and the hospital administrations. Generally, there's so much going on in the doctors. There are close to a few hundred doctors are committing suicide every year because they can't take the burnout anymore. Oh my God. Yeah, and then also where is this happening? United States. Oh, seriously, I had no idea about this. Yeah. The burnout is a serious problem, And there's so much pressure on the doctors from the system, from the patients, from the insurance company, from the drug companies, and all that. So now this EMR, I am kind of, I took it up very enthusiastically, and I kind of taught other people how to use the technology and all that. So I'm kind of used to recruit EMR to serve me, but other doctors kind of didn't want to get into there, and they resented that, and they had difficulty catching up with the technology, and they tried to learn everything at a time, that kind of thing, right? They put them in a disadvantage, and also very stressed out too. So I was kind of trying to help people that way. And then I revolved what's called comprehensive self-care. Many doctors don't develop resilience inside, and that's why they kind of, you see, all this wellness orientation came out of all those experiences. And also I was not just a practicing doctor, I was into health policy all the time, administration, all that. So I understood where are the problems, fault lies in the healthcare industry as a whole, and I was always trying to work at my own level. How can I be away from that? But now COVID came, it really exposed all our fault lines in our health system. Yeah, it's really crazy. It's just keeps. Basically, if you take the chronic diseases, Kruti, they are kind of the worst outcomes, even though we are spending the highest money in the world. You know, so yeah, why? I mean, why isn't why isn't it working? That is what it is, because you orient it towards the illness, and when people come, you treat them and send them back to the same system. My my orientation, my orientation to the wellness is, how can you prevent at a very primary level in your own house? Suppose you are eating good nutritious food, exercising optimally, and also preventatively getting tested and discovering things very early, and also really understand what the stress is about, where it is coming from, and then developing daily lifestyles that are really going to be helpful for you to keep your wellness for longer time. So all those things made me go into this kind of forming a company that is going to be oriented towards wellness, and not just that company, but I want to go into the health systems, then promote how you can be changing these lifestyles so they can be therapeutic and preventing your problems, so that's what my focus is. That's what I talk about. I live it, and I'm trying to share it with people, that's where, of course, it's something, it's kind of very, this is the subject that I've always been very, I wanted to be a doctor growing up as a teenager. However, that dream couldn't kind of work because I lost my dad very early in my life, and then things didn't work out. But so from the doctor to actor, huh? I'm in the process of actually getting my degree evaluated, and I want to study further here. So, and I'm sure for last 3 to 4 years, I have been contemplating. Of course, COVID took away 2 years, and I was getting my stuff evaluated, and I want to study either nutrition or dietetics because I read so much about this stuff, and I really want to make it like formal. Yeah. So I was thinking that what do you think, where does it stand when it comes to having career opportunities, living in United States where someone can be, it's a kind of you got to get into the new skills based on technology. That is there, and then uh, it's a really self-actualization, Ruti. You can make your own way, provided you have the skills. What would you advise, being someone from medicine, from this, and because you do a overall thing, it's not just one aspect of health, but it's also wellness. It's a very well-rounded approach towards healthcare. Actually, what do you recommend someone like me? I was looking at nutrition to become it, to get into nutrition, or to do like registered dietitian, which is very general. Of course, one works in a any medical practice or a hospital or any setting that you can even have your own practice. But
I was wondering if one is better than the other, and if I can somehow get the Ayurveda angle, because I always that's something I've always been very interested in. Along with, I feel that food can really heal us,
Yeah,
and there are so many things that even mentally, schizophrenia, mental issues are also connected with our gut, and it's
yeah,
just the whole the gut brain
yeah.
connection, and all
Actual,
those other things, and the spectrums of
yeah,
mental chemicals being off. So what do you suggest
yeah.
if
Uh,
someone like me wanted to study in over here? Uh, what would be like a better option
okay.
according to you?
This room we covered that food last week, Ruti. You can go and listen to them. But
Oh,
briefly, the answer is yeah. People are taking up to Ayurveda and also nutrogenomics, nutrition based on genomics too.
right, right,
So
right, right.
you can go very old, very ancient. There are a lot of people already practicing Ayurveda. I'm a member of that Ayurveda club also here in Clubhouse, and a lot of people are pretty knowledgeable about it. But I myself have some entrance into the Ayurveda too, because of
Right.
my knowledge of consciousness and all that. What it is we will talk privately on this subject, but then let
Okay.
us talk the today's subject, and then
Okay.
definitely I will talk to you at length because that's a
Sure,
very
Dr. Rao. Thank you. I really appreciate it because I would
yeah,
get perfect advice from
yeah.
you with all that experience.
No,
You understand how things work here.
yeah.
So that would be great. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Dr.
Actually,
Rao.
many Americans are coming to that conclusion.
I
Diet
love
is
the nutrigenomics
yeah,
idea. I think it's pretty real
yeah,
and very,
yeah. That's
yeah,
where.
I think it's
But what it
fantastic.
is, people also are coming to that where the food is the medicine. you know
Yes,
so they're taking that. See, so they have a lot of scope, and then we'll talk about. Let us talk about activity because our
absolutely.
4 weeks concentration, what it is, we finished with the food. We were talking activity this week, and today is supposed
Okay,
to be the last day for that subject. So I said wellness ways on day 5 for the activity today. So
love that. Thank you.
there
Yeah,
are
sure,
there
please.
are people on the Instagram, people on the Wisdom, and people are also on the YouTube, LinkedIn, and also the mm, Facebook. And here, some of the. I think Sandeep is regular, Sumitra is regular, and Kiran is on the. Kiran, you have any questions or comments?
No, I was just thinking. So ultimately, the world is like no West coming to the Indian style of this one.
Yeah.
But will there be an acknowledgement? Is the question I had. But anyway, it's a
No,
broad, different topic.
I think that may not be completely relevant because everybody is coming everywhere else. So we are becoming all one, one big family, So uh, digging out some of the ancient wisdom, I don't think even the modern Indians are doing as much as these people are not doing either. But we all can get some useful information from them for our modern lifestyles. That's my effort is always bring in the best of modern medicine and the best of ancient wisdom, and then really use them for our stressed out lives. So activity, we were talking about several things. Usually I would like to answer questions rather than just talking about it, but then we also talked about what was the activity needed, optimal needed, and how we can make our work routines, and just anywhere you can create opportunities to be active, and that's the main thing. Just move and be active in your work and be active in your routines, and that would be very very easy to maintain the fitness. You can also have fitness programs, and then go and take expert advice and design a program for you that you can follow. That will be very good too. For us here in the United States, the winter makes it such a big deal. We cannot get out sometimes, and that's why having home gym. I have a home studio of yoga studio downstairs, and the whole basement, half of it is dedicated to that, and I do yoga there. And so weather will not influence me that way. And also, a treadmill is there. I can walk there if I want to. Anything that activity doesn't have to be only yoga. But I'm partial to yoga because it is such a comprehensive thing. It not only makes you be active in your body and then rest up in the body too, but also really calms your mind down, relaxes you, and so many internal benefits are there. That's why when you do yoga properly, they do the massage of the internal organs, which is very good in so many things, all the way from infertility to indigestion to constipation to menstrual irregularities or endocrine irregularities, osteoporosis. So many benefits are there. I'm fortunate that I have insight into modern medicine and also insight into ancient practices of health and medicine, all that. So I'm trying to really understand how to bring that to the lifestyle that we have. And then that was very useful for so many of my people whom I coaching on the burnout, and also IT professionals I'm coaching for their stress, and also some of the leaders come to me for transformation training where they can go from their whatever personality they are suffering to something like a servant leadership. That's what I focus on. This is also like a service, what I can come and share and really involve people to take interest in that and come and contribute to. Girija, welcome. How are you? Girija has become regular now, so we will get her in there. So, welcome, Girija. How are you?
Happy 2022 to everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me up here.
Yeah.
And your room is really, really, I mean, what to say? We learned so much from you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Somebody complained the other day, your room is great, but it's not popular. I said, I don't pay attention to I just speak to whoever comes, Actually, that's what it is. I enjoy talking about these things. And then people look at this after the recording, because I keep the replays on. A lot of people call me after that, but lots of times I won't have that much time to talk about it. That's why I encourage people to ping other people to come in here if they have similar interest, or anybody interested in wellness. I think they should take initiative of listening, and then I'm not saying they should follow whatever I say, but what I'm saying is they should really examine that and then see whether it is something that they would like to think about it and look at it. And then once they find it is true, then they should apply in their life. That's my wish.
Dr. Rao, your wish is so lovely, and I think you are doing social service without any ulterior motive. I think anybody who understands this will regard you and follow you. And a lot of times, such beautiful rooms with amazing knowledge, a lot of people tend to run away from, sadly. And
Yeah.
when they really want to learn, then they probably won't have people who will share this kind of wisdom, because
Yeah.
very fewer people are going to be left with this wisdom. So thank you so much for being you again.
Yeah. But you know what?
I completely love your work. With you. I agree with Ritu completely. You have no motives at all except that people should, be healthy and happy. And so that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you see, the aim is to really get the health system to think in this wellness ways, so that we are a lot of them are trying to do. They are trying to put nutrition on the top, and then they're trying to do exercise routines. They're trying to do meditation, but they call it like a mindfulness. I don't think that is useful when you're activated, but still they're trying to integrate, but it doesn't have the same. Push like we doctors want them to be, because a lot of people are engulfed by the commercial activities and the hospitals, and everybody has to generate certain revenue. So it has become like a vicious circle people are going through. Individual people are trying to self-help books, and like Deepak Chopra, other people, a lot of people are trying to improve their personal health like that. But I wanted to bring the knowledge that I had, experience I had with the health system. Those 40 some years I have been practicing, and also digging up these things really help. The highest thing about ancient wisdom is when you really understand what they're talking about, self realization, and you really go even to the towards that path. You don't have to even achieve it. Probably it will take several lifetimes to do that. And understand what they're talking about. You have the highest health possible. Like for example, I am keeping calm. That means I am having less stress hormones in my system. Once you understand and you are not reactive, but you are responding to all your tasks, then you don't have the secretion of the stress hormones in your system. What that is making you is the going towards that highest health possible. It's not very romantic about it. It is not exciting, but you will realize that once you lose the health. Okay, I had health issues, but I overcame them very well. I think the yoga had made a big deal role in for my complete recovery from serious illness and all that. But I don't remember that as something I had gone through. Now it's like a dream, and I feel like I was going through them so that I can learn and then understand where the modern medicine is not helping us, where ancient systems are working as. And that led me to observe ancient systems, societies, structures, and even internal exploring what thought, what are the emotional, all of that. They had tremendous knowledge inward, whereas modernly we have tremendous knowledge outward. So you got to combine both of them. I'm partial to the inward because if I makes me feel good and completely really healthy inside, I'm always healthy outside too. So there's so many combination of things we can do. But the thing I found in the ancient wisdom is they were very much oriented to the mind and how to understand the mind in its limitations and overcome them. That way, your mind is your slave, and then you function much better because you are not taken by a storm in the mind, and then you are going all over. You know, so when the real challenges come in life, we can deal with them much better and come out strong because you have faced with something very very difficult in life and you have overcome that. You can bring that. Some people do the small things that they had gone through and then they want to get up on the roof and talk about it, but I want to take a real systematic approach. That's why I said food lifestyles: food, activity, sleep, and thought or meditation. These four things, if you can really understand and do that. I did this kind of course in several forms, in several ways. First, I ran therapeutic lifestyles for a long time on the Wednesday evening. Then I ran enhancement of the human being. That was several months it has gone on the Zooms. So there are so many things we have been doing, but the essential thing is how can we, first of all, as a person, adopt these lifestyles, look at our own lifestyles and see whether is there something that we are doing that can be altered so that it will benefit it. And the second thing is, once we have understood this, can we take it to the family? Can we take it to the society around us? Can we take it to the health systems? Because we are coming to a state where we are not able to afford the health care. Many of the people go without health care, or they have very ration health care even in United States. The insurance companies, drug companies, they become so clever, they shift a lot of burden on the patients, and the patient may not have the money to pay for it. I have seen elderly people who were with me maybe 20, 30 years probably, and I have seen them very productive people as middle age, and then and as they become Medicare eligible, they got it, but then they did not get enough medication. There's no coverage, and they have to go through either food or medication. It was that dire. I have seen that suffering, even though it doesn't come out that much. We see them at our level, people coming into clinic with a lot of sad stories, and it is getting worse. And the outcomes of the chronic disease is getting worse, not getting improved, even though they are throwing so much money. It's going where? The insurance companies, drug companies, executives, and all that. But they blame the doctors. Doctors used to get a lot of pie, but now their lot has gone down. But that's not the point. The point is healthcare system is not really able to take care of the people in terms of keeping the health. That means keeping the wellness. Most of the people are also, they respond after they have a heart attack or stroke or diabetes and all that. That's okay. We can take care of them. But can we do something to prevent them happening? To prevent them advancing into much serious illness. That seems to be common sense to me. That seems like everybody, any sensible person will listen to that and then follow that. There are so many market forces that make us live badly in the sense of eating badly or not exercising or sleeping. You look at the youngsters I'm seeing, they are all up until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and they are asking me to come to their room at that time. That's why I come to know. So sometimes I go there just to see them, and then they will be enjoying the songs and all of that. And apparently, they will have to get up in the morning late, and then that is going to be a problem for them too in the long run, right? So there's so many issues are there, and people are not focused. All this attention is going with the social media. So that's why I started this whole thing. And this will go on. I'm not going to stop with these four ways. It will go on and we'll take up different aspects. I'm trying to invite people to share that viewpoint and to see whether they have their own ideas and they will, once they start exploring, they will find a lot of things. But also keep an eye on the modern developments. I'm in touch with the genomics. I'm in touch with the microbiome. I'm in touch with what is coming up lately. We can use that too for our benefit. That's something I had to do for my patients because I want to make them use the latest technology, but also what is the wisdom from the ancient. That is the combination we are trying to do. So there's nothing like blaming the modern medicine for everything and then really praising only ancient wisdom or taking everything for granted. It's kind of responsible, considerate thinking, and also really bringing the good stuff for our own wellness. My children, I want them to be well, right? Like that, I want all my patients to be well too. That's the only motivation. I think I'm just doing my duty as a physician. I'm just bringing in some of those things are really fun because nobody knows about this thing. Only very few people know, and they also don't know comprehensively. They know one particular aspect of. But there is a way to study also. Even if people are interested, I will show them the way how I studied and how they can go, how they can keep it up all the time. But people get lost in their own routines and then immediately they go for entertainment and all that. For example, yesterday I was doing a course on data analyst because I have the MBI, right? I was having this education in a theoretical way. Some of the data analysis I may have to do, so I wanted to take that. And I've seen my focus has grown so much now. In one sitting, I did 4 modules. Before, I could have done one module, maybe. That also with sort of distraction. That is the power of meditation. That's the power of developing the focus. Then, the same time you expend to study will be much reduced, and you will feel better because you're so much in the flow. You learn things and also you feel better. So this is how they said to keep the highest. I think Hruti, you want to listen to this. They said to keep the highest energy, you want to do 3 things every day. Number one is do daily physical exercise. Okay. And number two is do unselfish work. You know. Number three is study something new every day. So these 3 things, if you do, your energy will be the highest. Make sense?
Yes, very much, very much. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. See, that's the routine that the ancient sages had. What they did was, first of all, they found a contented, abundant self within. That means they are not asking somebody really give them something. They are already fulfilled, contented people, and that's why they were able to go and give out that. That's a different matter, but that's the second thing is they really walked a lot, climbed trees, did a lot of physical work too, right? That's the exercise or the yoga itself, hatha yoga and all of that. Or they sat on stone for a long time, and then they were doing that altruistic work and they were exercising, and then they study scriptures every day. And the scriptures have such a depth. However much you study, they still have revelations that you can discover. So those three habits that they had, and then they were engaging their mind to learn new things means neuroplasticity, new brain formation is there. That's why even though you're going into advanced age, you can be very sharp in the present and do that. So anyway, I don't want to go digress on that. So if that exercise is something that you want to do every day, what is the optimum exercise, what is the correct way you want to exercise, what are the limitations, and why we are getting so out of habit of exercise. you know Here maybe we can take each individual concern, like maybe Girija, you can tell how much exercise you get and what is your goal, or do you want to exercise more or less, something like that. Can you tell us?
Yes, doctor. I think I need to exercise more.
Yeah.
And in 2022, I wish to take it up because I've been doing, but I can feel that it's not enough. Your body, like you rightly said, your body tells you.
Yeah.
No one has to really come and tell us.
Yeah.
But then, yes. But then this is a great revelation. What all you're saying, I think that is a inspiration as well. So yeah, this year I really want to, right from day one. That is day first. It's first here in India.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to do a little more of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I feel fit, and like you said, only when we are full can we give anybody anything,
Yeah.
even in terms of health or whatever. So yes, this is definitely a good resolution from today itself.
Yeah, good. Because also come and join my Facebook group. It's a BA Pal Facebook group. I have put that address on the top of that. That's membership is free, and the people come there, and I can come live with the individual needs and also encourage them that way. So that they can share like a. Suppose they are doing a certain routine, certain vinyasas, they have some problem with backache and all that. Then I come and tell them what they are should not be doing, what they should be doing, that kind of thing. So other thing is I want to do more and more live on those groups so that I can individually make a difference. Uh, that is the aim. So I invite you to come and join that Facebook group. It's called my company name is BA Pal. So this is named after the BFL. Also has some. It came to me just like that. I put it later on. I kind of looked for the meaning. I found this meaning. Maybe I will explain that to you. See whether anything out of whack. If you, uh, so I said, be like a be, right? Just be yourself. That's a big philosophical thing. People are either their personality, their ego, or their degree, their role in society. Some of them, right? But then they never be beyond the body and mind, who they are. That is the real nature. So just to be without any other paraphernalia is a lifelong goal for a lot of people. But it is a very simple thing. If you really shut off all that you are not, what you are will be there. And that is a very real, very fulfilling, and very blissful, serene solitude life. But it's a wonderful thing. That's what they discovered. They call them Satchit Anand. You know, and once you touch it, even a few seconds a day, the energy is to the roof. That was my personal experience, though that's why I went into that, and I'm still studying a lot on that. But that is very, very um, energizing, invigorating, those kind of things. The other thing is A is for awareness. Be in awareness versus thought. Okay, the P is for the presence. You always has to be in the present, you know. And then the next is attentive, attentive to every action you are doing. And the last L is loving. Most of the people want to love themselves and give love and then get the love. But it's mostly asking for love rather than giving love. How can you be loving? That is what I kind of teach people to. So if you are loving, you don't feel like you're giving even. You just give because it is there overflowing. So you just give it, right? So that is the name of my company, and I'm just started a podcast also on that. Talks are there, but they are not yet released. I think my team is working on that. Some of them are not working very well because they're sick or something. But new team is coming up too. That may they may do more. Of course, I'm active in the social media and I discuss all these things, and I go to several topics. So that's why a lot of people know me with the different topics. But then my main thing is how can I promote wellness, and also how can I help the planet so that we can repair the health of the planet. These are my two things that I want to do, for the rest of my life. Meanwhile, I'm having a blast of a time because I love to learn and love to share and really make new friends. That's going on very well. So any questions on that? My podcast or my Facebook club or anything? They're all there on that, my bio. So you can go and check it out. But I invite you to be my BFL Club here member and also club member of the Facebook member too. Then I'm going to start live programs exclusively for them. Then they can come on the Facebook and participate one on one with me, and that will be good for them too in the long run. So, anybody else has questions, so they can come up. Please raise your hand, we'll bring you up. I think Vaishnavi is there. I have not talked to her for some time. Let's see what she is doing.
Dr. Rao,
Yeah.
I do, like you mentioned, I physical activity is very less, but I started like last time when we had some discussion. So I started yoga outside.
Yeah.
Some one day, then next day I didn't do it, but I'm going to do it continue.
Yeah.
Then, yeah. So in the other sense, you said like giving, right? Like so, yeah, I do participate in um, things like like social causes and all.
Yeah.
So just doing donations and all, whatever I can do, I try.
Yeah.
Without even I don't know who they are, but their
Yes.
causes are very important. So I do
Wonderful.
this one.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So the last one you said is like learning. I do have interest, but somehow I think I have that urge,
Yeah.
trust, but there is something where I want to leap to the little bit higher. I think I'm not getting there. AI and also the means probably AI, ML and all the stuff. I'm software, but I want to leap into different tangents. So maybe
Yeah.
that's what I think I'll have to work on that, I guess. So
Yeah, sure. Just by knowing those things, I was able to aim for that, Kiran. So I think when I read about the rishis, that, and the more I went into, the more they are doing on those aspects. They were altruistic. How come? Because they found happiness within, whereas we were led to believe happiness out there and go and find it. But they found happiness and contentment within, and then marched in life with that. So that's why they were very smiley in terms of outward suffering, but they were able to help a lot of people. You know what happened to the sages were, they were raised and then they wanted to dedicate their entire life for the welfare of the people. What they did was they went and advised the emperors, kings, and all that. The kings are not turning into something like narcissistic people, but more of very benevolent, generous kings because they were advised by these wise men. And kings really respected these sages and they put them Rajguru and all that, right? And there were some kings that were rishis themselves, so the administration they did, but in their interior, they were kind of sarvasanga paritya. So Rajarshi means very good administrators. At the same time, they were spiritual seekers too. The highest in ancient India was spiritual seeking. seeking of who you really are and stationing there. But modern living, what it has done is it is given more attention to the ego development and profits and fruits and all that. Angels were completely different. They have sense control, and they have tried to transgress the ego. That means understanding and going beyond it, and then they worked for the sake of the welfare of the world. So I was telling Ritu this morning, my secret is Atma Mokshardham Jagat Hitacha. Work for the liberation inside, that is Atma Mokshardham, and then go and work for the welfare of the world. See, this is what is the real tragedy for our generation, sir. That treasure we have inside, we don't open it, and then we go begging outside. But what they did was they found the treasure, and then they went and helped other people. That is real, though. The treasure was there, but it won't happen just because you wished it. You got to get out of the things that are preventing you from seeing the treasure. That's where the unselfish activity, learning new things, and also physical exercise is important, because otherwise you become so lazy and dull, you cannot absorb things.
Yes, I mean, what you said is so correct. We all have been given the gifts, so many gifts there. I think they're all wrapped up. We're not opening them.
Yeah.
Once we open them, yeah, we have so many. So I think once we make that effort, we'll know what we have, and then we can use the
Exactly.
gifts appropriately.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. That's where the gurus of modern times are not helping either, because the guru of olden time, they are like a dispensing the darkness. That is the meaning of the guru. They are kind of really dissolving your ignorance. How they are throwing the light on the path you are supposed to walk by yourself and find by yourself. So nobody need to claim that I am the guru, you're going to solve is you. No, I'm going to make you turn inside and find your treasure by yourself.
So this is the concept, right? Like I heard, like no one statement is what they explains about the west and the east. Whatever you said, we actually do inward. The west went outside.
Yeah.
So then the reason what we can inward, the reason why these guys went inward is like no, if you know under, you can understand the Brahman. Under means the atom within you or the whatever that thing under.
Yes.
Then you can understand the Brahman. That's how they went through.
Actually,
And
no,
versus the other side.
Kiran, actually, Brahmanda is in you as Anda.
Correct, exactly. That's what they discover, and that's
Yeah.
what our philosophy kind of.
Exactly.
Versus West is everything. Okay, first let us fix the world.
Yeah, that's the
That's
thing.
the way.
If you notice carefully in my morning practice, I make them do all exercises, everything. At the end, only 5 minutes, I make them pay attention to who you really are, that witness consciousness. I invite people to pay attention to their thought and body as though they are separate. That means you, who is that consciousness, you are one. You are not different. You are not individual conscious measuring up to the the universal consciousness. You are that. Once you have that, then you will be the witness, and you won't suffer whatever the body is suffering. You won't suffer whatever the mind is suffering. But right now, people are wrapped up thinking this is me, body, or this is my mind, this is me. And that is
Such
West.
a beautiful thought.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful thought. Really. Thank you.
Yeah, it's not just a thought, it's a fact actually. But once you get to the fact, then you will see thoughts and everything slow down to one thought, and then you will transgress the thought and establish yourself in the reality, which is what I'm talking about, Satchit Anand. Existence, consciousness, and bliss. All the three are.
Dr.
Yeah, one.
So
Yeah.
sorry, I'm interrupting. I that this thought I don't want to lose it. How can you convince someone who doesn't believe in the inner the inner centering yourself, or
Yeah,
kind of
you cannot.
bringing yourself in,
Yeah,
and that, if somebody who's a skeptic, how can we tell them or convince them,
yeah,
or to make them believe what
yeah.
we do,
No,
because
no,
we are
no.
from India, our roots are from there. There are
Don't
people
try
here.
to make them believe. What it is they have to investigate by themselves. It's not a thought or conception or anything like that. It is a reality that is there. So what you do is you don't believe in it. You have to listen to it first. Okay, that is shravanam. They call it. You first pay attention completely so that you listen to that completely. Whatever that what scriptures are saying or gurus are saying, anybody is repeating that. Then
How can we get little kids to sit down
oh
and
yeah, kids can listen. If
introspect?
yeah, yeah, no, no, kids will listen. First step is a listen. Then what happens is, you see, your mind is running very fast, Ritu. That's what is not listening to. So first listen, then don't believe it. Take it and question it, doubt it, find out the truth. And after all that, then you will come to the truth by yourself. But once you find the truth by yourself, nididhyasana, that's the third step. Make it real in your life. What is happening is this extraordinary development of the cognitive part of it took people away from the intuitive self that can realize this. So all questions, everything you're asking is all from the mind. And that we developed more than what we really are. That is the only problem we have.
We have new speakers here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just add one statement to your statement, sir, like to this question. So you can give an example, like you don't have to convince anybody. So to the point, when you had a very good sleep, you feel relaxed and come out. So you are sleeping, you don't know what you are, but you feel so much relaxing. Who is that experiencing in all the stuff? Do you get that one? Like I'm saying, you are asleep, your consciousness consciously you're not aware that you're sleeping. I mean, what has gone through it, but after you sleep, you feel so good.
Okay.
So
Kiran,
who is that experiencing?
Kiran. Okay. First explain to you, is this your experience or is your conception?
Exactly. So that will drive if you go to first on that part, you will get to what Dr. Rao is saying.
Now, let
So
me explain more on that. What Kiran was trying to say. We have the waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, right? Everybody goes through these three experiences every day, right? When you are awake, what is happening? Both your body and the mind are active and working, right? When you go to the sleep, first you dream. That means your body has fallen, but your mind is still active. That's why you have those dreams, which is actually mind is trying to put it in order, you know. And then when you're in deep sleep, both your body and mind are quiet, but there is some other thing that is going on as active that they call turiya, fourth state. Actually, it's not fourth state. It is the consciousness that is underlying as the substratum of all the three states. So you have to catch that. That is where the struggle is. But the mind is so active, dominating it. So when I talked about those panchakoshas, that manomaya kosha, which is the mind really, that kind of covers up your real sun like a cloud. Once you remove the cloud, you will be okay. That's why the exercise is the fact that you don't know that real nature is really hiding in you. You listen to that. Then you investigate that, not believe it. You have to inquire into that. And then once you find out, there are so many ways to do that. So many Drishti Viveka, so many ways are there. Once you do that, then you will be convinced by yourself that it is there because you will experience it. That's the difference. Outward scientific thing, we have objective data that we want to investigate. But inward, you cannot do the same thing by applying the intellect or your senses. What you want to do is you want to intuitively experience it, realize it, because it's already there. That factor is not there in modern society. As a scientist, as somebody who is studying science, I go outward. All the theories we have, all the subjects we put under data, everything, right? Who is do studies and multi uh, purpose studies. We do so many studies. Out of the conclusions, we form a conclusion. Okay, this could be this, and we're going to use this drug, but down the line somebody else finds more intricacies, then I will change my finding. That's how science keeps on improving itself. But if you take the inner realm, if you apply intellect, you're lost. That's why Ritu is trying to understand through her intellect, which she knows only, and that is the one concept, all those things come. But if you stop and then realize for yourself, intuitively feel that you have that silent self within you. That takes some time because this agitated thought is all over. That is the aim of the Patanjali yoga. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. All those worlds of thoughts and everything are stopping is the real yoga. Then tada drashtu sarupe avasthana. Then you will see your real self outside the body mind complex. And then if you don't do it, then that will be reflected through the body and mind. That's the third sloka he talks about. So a lot of people don't understand real yoga means. Once you achieve this complete nirodha state, then you will be very, very, very easy to be in that because there's nothing else. Actually, I think I talked about this. I think we talked more about in the last week, but there are five states Patanjali describes. Somebody may have something like a donkey.
Just add something? Sorry, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah. Since you were talking about Patanjali, my brother is right. He has written a book on Patanjali Sutras. It is gone for this publication now. So I just wanted to tell you that.
yeah,
He's
that's
written a whole. He's a very good writer.
yeah.
So he's taken on this Patanjali Sutras.
Yeah, but no, I was talking about Patanjali Yogasutra's essence, but it is actually once you understand what is yoga, what is Vedanta, what is the say various systems that came up in the ancient wisdom, then you will see where people are limited. Even yogas, Patanjali yogas also at one time it's limited, but then you can do. Um, Agnana to Gnana, which is Vedanta, which is the essence of the Upanishads, which is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita also, all those things come like that. But to come to that, you have to have a very good mind, purified mind. For that, this Yoga Sutras of Patanjali will be useful because, by the way, it is recognized Patanjali Yoga Sutra system of concentration is the best concentration method people talk about in the world. Among the people and the scholars, among the people who are really oriented towards that, they talked about that all the time. So it is there. Anyway, where did we go from where to where? We are supposed to talk about activity. Yeah, Pawan, you have to ask me about these things before you go on to talk about those things because if you don't live it, it's very difficult to explain to somebody else. But Anda Pindada, that was good. You talked about that, and this one I think you need to go a little bit deeper into that. It's not a concept; it is an experiential thing. So unless you convey that, people will think, oh, this is also another concept. Actually, this takes you away from the conceptual thing. You see, like somebody who is following Ramana Maharshi, this family, he's an ophthalmologist and she's a school teacher. And they both absorbed his teaching so much, they went and named their house Arunachala, which is the name of the hill. And then that lady started to see her kids without any conception, and that has improved her raising the children so much. The kids have free to express, but at the same time learn what is what. you know those kind of atmospheres in the house are very important. Instead of treating the children as my property, you treat them, they came through me, They are also individual souls, and they are all in one soul. That kind of thing are there. So these things are pretty subtle and pretty controversial, and so first listen and then investigate and then bring it in your life. Then you have the right to talk about it. If they don't have in your life, I think if you talk it, it will be like a muddled and it can be seen by people who have experienced it. That's where the guru's difference it makes is he has to direct them towards that goal by themselves. That's only by him being like that he can do. Anyway, other people are Vaishnavi, how are you? Vaishnavi, I don't know if her mic is working. You are unmuted, but I can't hear you.
Tiffany and Sandeep.
Yeah, Sandeep is always there. Vaishnavi, are you talking or you unmuted it, but I can't hear you?
If you're talking, we can't hear you. Maybe you can go exit and come back. Usually, some glitches that can be solved like that.
Yeah.
In
Maybe we'll go
Clubhouse.
to Sandeep. Hi, Sandeep.
Hi, Doctor. Firstly, wish you a very happy, prosperous, healthy 2022. Wish everybody.
Yeah.
I've just come to wish you, Doctor, and I really enjoy whatever you talk, and I just try and absorb whatever I can, and
Sure.
whatever I practice every
Yeah,
day.
I
So it's
wanted
all.
to stay with the subject, but then we went off with so many things. That's okay too. You know, as long as people don't run away from us, we are okay.
So
So,
I would rather, listen because I would like to make
yeah.
most of the time listening to that
Yeah.
rather than other than.
That's okay. Okay. Vaishnavi
Hello,
is
sir. Can
Hi, Vaishnavi. I can
Hi,
hear you.
Vaishnavi. I get.
sir, I guess network issue. Too
Yeah.
much of network issue.
So, how are you?
How
How
are
are you
you?
doing?
I'm fine, sir. How are you, sir?
I am great.
I am great.
Yes, sir. So long time.
Uh, any
We
any
didn't speak, sir.
any questions you
Any
have,
questions?
Vaishnavi?
Yes, sir. What is the difference between yoga and exercise?
Ah, that's a great
That's a
question.
great question.
I think she brought
I
us
think
to
she
our
brought.
topic. Okay. Let me mute
Let
you
me
because
mute
I'm
you.
resounding. Yeah, that's a great question, Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi had been in my rooms very early, so that's why I kind of talked to her several times after that. But she's doing her exams and all that. This is a good question because uh, yoga is really not an exercise. It is about consciousness. It is about really identifying that we are part of that, not even part, we are the absolute consciousness. But we think we have an individual consciousness, we are going to go and meet that. For that, what they did was they have an 8 point ashta okay, the path, that is the yoga sutras, right? The first two are like a restraint in the society and restraint within ourselves, the moral principles, yama niyama. I don't go detail on that, but once you have a moral ethical background, and then you do asanas to keep your body in shape so that it can sit down for long term and withdraw the senses, and then breathe energy into that so that you can concentrate, contemplate, reflect on that, and absorb into the consciousness. That is what it is. That is yoga. But then the yoga physical, that is hatha yoga, actually you are embracing the energy. Ha means sun and the moon. So you're going to work with the energies that are associated with both those lunar cycles and whatever it is. But basically embracing the. How do you do that? By really keeping the internal external process are active, and then breathing energy into them, and then making the whole thing work so well that you have a very alert, aware, sharp mind with which you turn inside and find this consciousness. And that's why our thoughts and everything we have to be concentrated to the extent where you first concentrate, then slow it down, then go to one thought and go beyond the thought to that place where everything is silent. So he describes excellently what are the things that are in our way to that and how to really understand God. He describes only one sentence for the whole asanas people are doing. Sthira Sukham Asana. You have to be stable posture, that's comfortable. Sthira means stable, Sukham means comfortable, posture is, the asana is posture, right? So anything you do, you have to do like that when you are in full health. Suppose your joints are creaking and then your muscles are weak and all that. You can do this hatha yoga to get that body back to health and normal. And then what happened was, uh, later on people devised different asanas, and uh, later on this Tiruna, T. Krishnamacharya is in Karnataka. He is a great, great yoga master. He kind of did this vinyasa where one asana to other asana go, and that is where he uh, uh, kind of devised this modern form of exercise for the warrior class of Mysore Maharaja. And then he taught that to B.K. Iyengar, Pattabhi Joyce, and Aruna Devi, all these people. They came out of India and then they spread to all of it. Even before that, Vivekananda came. But Vivekananda is all about Vedanta, really. But he also wrote all these other yogas too. So Bhagavad Gita also described a lot of yogas, but essence of yoga is that. So a lot of people they know a little bit of athletic yogas, and they immediately think they know all the yoga, and that is a disservice to them and everybody else too. They are teaching too. So lot of misconception happened because India did not take care of their own traditions properly, and uh, obviously Indians don't do the yoga the way it is prescribed now. They are sucked into that Western commercial oriented life, and they can do very well if they go back to their own systems. Where yeah, your exercise is like devised because people have got used to the creature comforts. So body is creaking and aching. Suppose you are get up in the morning, do the stuff and going around all that, and then like in the old time you are doing, you're doing all sorts of things, just shut down. I don't want even that one. Who is talking?
I guess he's talking to someone else.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let's move him to audience. You can come back later. So, so the you see, if you are in the farm age, when the agriculture time, people were getting out and moving and doing stuff. Even if you take the farms in America, they do the chop the woods, they take care of the cattle, they take care of the horses, and they work from morning till night. That kind of physical labor was there when it was agriculture oriented, right? And then we got this British system where they wanted to make most people into cog in the wheels, clerks for their factories and all of that, right? And they also have this really nefarious idea of chopping of the samskruti of people, so that that's how they really can get them out of their cultures. If you take the modern era, only Israel wanted to preserve their cultures firmly, and also they wanted to really official language Yiddish. That's it. They didn't want to compromise. Now see how they are stationed in their traditions. That's their strength, and they see how much sufferings they have withstood, and how economically one of the powers they are. So India should have gone that way, that spiritual genius. I think I was telling somebody this morning about Aurobindo wrote that book, and then he said India's renaissance is to go back to the spiritual genius, not the superstitious things that they are doing now. No, not that. It is the spirituality that they wanted to go, and that would have been wonderful. Even now, that would be wonderful for the Indian youth. And I find the youth are very interested in this. I was very encouraged by that. They don't want to believe, they want to understand, they want to explore. That's an excellent sign, I think. If you nurture that and introduce them to, like I said, modern technology, they can. But then modern technology is breeding a lot of stress. How do you deal with it? By going inward. That is where these inward sciences have a big role on that. Otherwise, people are doing IT, big packages and all that, and then they are really stressed out. So many people I have seen not able to sleep, not able to conduct a good relationship with their spouses, and then they are getting into the weaknesses of the West of addictions and all that. So that's a tragedy. It should not be that way at all. Maybe I spoke too much. Vaishnavi, did I answer your question?
Yes, the thing is like how will you like inculcate in our life, like how
Yeah.
to inculcate it. Like I'm in hostel.
Mm.
Sir. So the thing is, I try to sleep early, but
Mm.
because of some noises, I'm very sleep sensitive.
Mm.
Because of some noises, like I'll just be awake
Mm.
till late night. So I just think how to
Yeah.
inculcate.
Yeah. This
I am
is where you want to have physical exercise that is drained a lot of tension out of you with a physical exercise. That if you do enough, that will go down like that. And then you can also learn how to really get out of that stream of thought that people are going through. That is where the meditation. The last week we are going to do that. Next week, actually, we're going to do the sleep, Vaishnavi. Maybe you want to come. You come once in a while, then you miss all the whole thing. You know, come at least.
but
Yeah, next week we're going to talk about the sleep and optimization, quality of sleep, and all that. Okay, but for now, what you do is because since you are young, very young, in the early 20s, you can have a good, robust exercise. I would recommend sun salutations, which we talked about yesterday. You can go and look at that talk. That sun salutation is a wonderful thing you can do within in your hostel, in your room. And I will design a program for you if you want. You can consult me, and then we can do that too. But basically, if you do the consultation in the morning, 5 to 10 times, you will be very, very exhausted in the day after all day you're working. I think what I'm seeing with kids is they are not active, they are not having a sport, or they are not putting all the energy into being energetic. They want to slop on the sofas, lie on the bed and read. And those kind of some of the simple disciplines will bring you back your exercise to a maximum. And then you will be able to sleep. And also this thinking continuously has to be addressed too. There are ways to, I've done with so many doctors, because we have this highest thinking during the day. They don't know how to empty that brain fog. I taught them how to do that, and then they were able to switch it off during the night and then go to sleep. There are certain things you have to do. First get up and then do a lot of physical thing. Either you do your chores or your clothes, or you go up and down. If you're to the second floor, just get up on the stairs and go 3 or 4 times. 3 times a day. That will become 10 times, and then you'll be much better off that way. So just put the body to exercise. Our yoga is a good thing, but you have to learn yoga. And I have my yoga sessions. You can take them and don't look at them. Do with it. Then you'll be having
yes,
exercise too. Yeah. Do you do that?
uh, yeah. The thing is, I started exercising now, but I'm not able to do yoga. I don't know, but yoga is good in the morning or the evening.
Yeah. You don't have to do yoga. You can do exercise. That's fine too. No problem. Yeah. Tiffany, you have been silent. You have any question or comment?
sir, Dr. Rao. Thank you and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year
I
too,
was
Jay.
going to ask you what are some remedies to help with brain fog?
Ah, very good. Okay. Uh, well, like I'm talking to you now, right? I could easily end up in brain fog if I retain all this in my mind. What I do is I kind of drop all this by next activity I take up, I'm completely with it. So just trying to be present and cultivating presence and being in whatever activity you're doing, attention to every action, these things drop off. All you have to do is, am I in the present? Am I conscious? Am I completely with it? That's what you need to do. Okay, and then you'll be able to be attentive to the present, right?
Thank you, Dr. Rao.
Yeah. So try being in the present as much as possible. One good thing to start to Tiffany, right in the morning when you get up. Okay, you are aware, and then it takes couple of seconds some people, couple of minutes for some people to let the train of thought coming in, rushing in. If you continue from the night to the morning, they get stronger and stronger, and you will be more in the stream of thought, and that is the one. That means thought is overwhelming you, that results in brain fog. On the other hand, if you are consciously doing things, if you are in awareness and doing things, then you have thought as your slave. That's what happened to me, and that's why I can use thought when I want, like I'm trying to communicate with you guys. I can. But if you look at my yoga practice in the morning, I'll be instructing to you guys, but I don't engage in a conversation. That means I'm focusing on the exercise. That 1 hour feels like it has gone very quickly for me. So try being attentive and conscious to anything that you do.
That's a great idea. Thank you. I'll try it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Girija, Vaishnavi, Sandeep, or Ritik? Ritik, let us talk, and then we will talk about that nutrition. And I can give the spectrum of nutrition from old age to now. Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I love that.
Mm. And also check out those first week of food lectures. If you can go to my Instagram, I think they should be there. All of them.
I will surely do that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. So anything else? I think we are beyond that 9 o'clock anyway. 9:22. So it's a lot. So I will. I think the family is also calling for the dinner. Probably, the New Year.
Sir,
So
do you do the recording of your this?
yeah, it's always there. It's always I record and post it there. So nowadays I'm on the Wisdom app too, and that's a good one for you guys to explore also. And I kind of leave a recording there also. You know. And they will be on the podcast down the line because they are all recorded. All right, I will take leave for today, and then again Monday we will be starting on the relaxation and sleep, mainly the sleep. Vaishnavi, you may want to listen to that because you may get pointers that you can use. Okay,
Hello.
yeah,
Hello.
yeah, Vaishnavi, go ahead.
Sir, can you do you do the recording of these sessions?
Yeah, I was telling you it is being recorded. Yeah,
Actually, I guess network is very slow. I'm not able
yeah,
to.
you are in the matrix. We can't hear you. Anyway, I have been recording. I told them also, so everybody knows that they are recorded. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
I will see you maybe tomorrow also, but some other topic. But then Monday we will be going into this sleep for the whole week. Okay, I think that's something very useful for IT professionals and also any information worker, because a lot of them reach me for insomnia, or like Vaishnavi said, she wakes up and she cannot go to sleep. That's a very common complaint. Very, because people are uh, being information overload and they don't know how to come out of it. So there is a way. That's what I want to say. All right, thank you all very much. Okay, I'll see you.
Thank you.